Hello, everyone. It's Wade Franson, host of Created in the Image of God, back with another sneak peek with a fascinating guest who I have reached out to and desperately wanted an interview with because she is an independent journalist. And as you know, we're asking the question, what is truth and how do we arrive at it? And we're focusing on media literacy in the last few weeks. She is an independent journalist whose work appears in Reason, which I subscribe to, by the way, The Atlantic, The New York Times, The Wall Street Journal, Free Press, and others. She's written a bunch of books, and it's not just international relations, but it's individual stories and food. Welcome to the studio, Nancy.
Yeah, it's individual stories and food. I mean, why not? Yes, well, thank you for having me. All I want to do is tell the stories of others and bake pie every once in a while. When I first started writing, my editor at the LA Weekly said, people just want to talk to you. And I'm lucky that they do. And I've been doing what I've been doing for 25 years.
Well, you are a very engaging conversationalist. I already overshared. I can understand how you tell other people's stories so well because you're just a great listener and conversationalist. So what was it that got you interested in doing that from the particular vantage point of what we've called bringing gifts to the altar in telling the other stories, really honoring sort of the sacred nature of those individual points of view?
Well, first of all, people need to tell their stories and they need to hear the stories of others. They do. As I said, they'll voluntarily go longer without food than they will without telling or hearing stories. It's how the world works. I also have had it happen since the beginning of my career that you'll hear a story being reported in one way, and I'm like, I don't think that's really how it is. And then I go and look, and it turns out that it's not like that at all, that the publication has done it because it matched their agenda or their politics. But the real story is often a lot harder, a lot sadder, a lot more complicated. And to be able to take the time to sit and listen and then bring that story forth, what's also interesting, not only the satisfaction and also for your subjects, because you're respecting what actually happened, but you will have readers come to you later and say, thank you for telling me the truth. And that's amazing when that happens.
Well, for the audience, we always record this stuff live because the inspiration of the Holy Spirit comes in the moment. I don't know if this is the Holy Spirit or my own weird brain, but as you were talking, I was thinking, of course, Jussie Smollett, right? My family was just watching that, or Justin Baldoni. And it occurred to me how, quantum physics, the observer pollutes the experiment, right? So if you conduct an experiment to prove that life is a particle or light is a particle, it will present itself that way. If you create an experiment that light is a wave, it will present itself that way. How do you deal with that? How do you be objective in telling the story? And a little twist on that, what if you kind of think the person is spinning the story for some reason and what are you bearing false witness if you report what the person told you and you kind of know it's not true? This is hard.
Well, I would never do that. If the person is telling me something that's not true, I write it in a way like they've almost, they're giving themselves enough rope. You give it in a way, you give it to the reader. You don't lead them like a horse to water. They can make the decision. It's very interesting. Even when people are lying, they are telling you the story. So that's sort of fun to be able to parse. Especially let's say Jussie Smollett, the original story, I could smell right away that was just not true, but it matched the moment. The royal we in the culture wanted to hear stories like this. The best thing that you can do as a journalist for me, and I realize they call this old school, is you put on your shoes and you go out and you find the story and you talk to people and you tell the reader what people told you and what you saw. If you do these things, most of the time, you're not going to be leading your story astray. And as long as you're honoring what people are telling you, you're going to get the story.
Awesome. Well, that's all we have time for in this sneak peek. We're just getting to the tip of the iceberg. You're not going to want to miss this coming week's Tuesday night episode of Created in the Image of God with Nancy Rommelmann, airing at 8 p.m. Central Time. See you there.